Hi everyone, welcome back to Asian Chinese Philosophy and Life. Recently, I consulted the I Ching about one question. Is it a really good idea to share the real I Ching divination examples in my YouTube videos? More specifically, I was thinking about making a new series where I plan to share real I Ching divination cases, including the question, the hexagrams, the changing line, and my interpretation. I think one of the best ways to learn the I Ching is through examples. At the same time, you can also send me your own I Ching divination results and interpretations through email if you want. Then we can discuss these cases together and maybe even gradually build a small database of real I Ching consultations. Together, we can learn how the I Ching speaks to different people, different questions, and different moments. Now let's go back to the question. I used the 3-coin method to consult the I Ching. The original hexagram is 44, go, coming to meet. The changing lines were the 4th and the 5th line. After reverse that from yang lines to yin lines, I get hexagram number 18, 古, work on what has been spoiled. So how to understand and interpret the hexagrams? Let's start with hexagram 44, go, which gives us the current situation. The inner trigram is 巽, wind. The upper or the outer trigram is 乾, heaven. So the image is wind moving under heaven. The wind moves everywhere and touches all things. So in this sense, maybe I should also spread the I Ching and traditional Chinese wisdom outwards like wind through my videos. Just like the image commentary says, the sage spreads his commands and proclaims them to the 4 directions. Of course, in my case, I'm not a sage or ruler and I'm not giving commands, but I can understand this as spreading the message and the wisdom of the I Ching to more people, like the image. Wind moves under heaven and the message reaches the 4 directions. Another very interesting point is that go is connected with the time after midsummer, exactly now. You can see in this hexagram, there is only one yin line appearing at the bottom. This suggests that around the summer solstice, when the sun reaches its northernmost point, it begins to move southward again. At the height of yang, yin quietly begins to return. Furthermore, the single yin line is about to meet a very strong yang structure above. So maybe this new yin line can represent something new like my YouTube content entering the internet, the idea of divination, interpretation, and real I Ching cases. Right now, the whole structure around me is strong. YouTube already has its own favorite types of videos, the platform has its own rules and algorithms, my content has only just started. It is like one small yin line entering a field of 5 strong yang lines. But Go tells us that something small can still be important, and something that first appears quietly may grow larger over time. So I should keep an open mind and be ready to embrace the future. Maybe this small beginning can one day grow into something much bigger. Then we look at the 4th changing line. It says, no fish in the tank. This leads to misfortune. For my question, I think this is a very direct warning. If I don't provide enough valuable content, there will be no followers. If there's no fish, there's no real nourishment, no real value, therefore no reason for people to stay. So if I want to initiate the discussion on divination results, I can't rely only on mystery, curiosity, or entertainment. I need to provide real explanation, structure, add value. The audience should feel that they are learning something. They should feel that the I Ching is not only fortune-telling, but also a way to reflect on life, timing, change, and decision-making. So the 4th line tells me, don't assume people will follow naturally. First, make sure there's fish in the tank. Make sure the content is valuable and there is something real to share. Then we read the 5th changing line. Because it is in a higher position than the 4th line, It traditionally represents a later stage and carries more weight. It says, "A melon covered with willow leaves, hidden beauty. Something falls from heaven." This line gives me a much more hopeful message. I personally feel that my content is like this melon. The I Ching and traditional Chinese culture is a treasure, but it's also delicate. It can easily be understood or turned into shallow entertainment. So I should protect it, wrap it with willow leaves. I should explain this ancient treasure carefully, respectfully, and clearly. This line says the beauty is hidden, so maybe the value of this project is not immediately obvious. It needs to be wrapped, protected, and slowly revealed. Although the text doesn't directly say good fortune, traditionally we think this is a very favorable line. When strength is joined with restraint and power is joined with hidden virtue, good results can come naturally. Finally, the future hexagram is number 18, 谷. It shows the future direction. The inner trigram is still 巽, wind. The outer trigram is gen, mountain. The wind wants to move, but it's now blocked by the mountain. This feels like my content as well. I want to spread the I Ching like wind, but there may be a mountain in front of it. There may be understanding, language or culture barriers. There may also be strong structure of YouTube itself. So this path will not be easy. 谷 also means work on what has been spoiled. This hexagram tells us a story on how to correct mistakes left by the previous generation. So maybe this project is not only about making divination videos. It is also about repairing some old misunderstanding around the I Ching. Many people may see the I Ching only as a superstition. Others may see it only as mystery fortune-telling, therefore don't know its philosophical depth at all. So I should bring more new insights into this ancient content, explain it as a living system of change, self-reflection, and human experience. In this sense, my challenge or the project I initiated may be a starting point. This connects beautifully with the image commentary of Wu. The noble person stirs up the people and nourishes virtue. So maybe my role is not only to explain hexagrams, it's also to invite people to think together, reflect together, and use the I Ching in a more meaningful way. The hexagram statement of Gu says, "It is favorable to cross the great river." So this is not a small task. It may involve risks, require effort and preparation, but crossing the river is meaningful. The hexagram states also says, one should prepare carefully before the begins, and one should also be careful with the follow-up. So overall, my interpretation is, this reading seems to support the idea of bringing I Ching divination into my YouTube channel. Hexagram 44 says, a new encounter is coming. A small beginning may grow into something larger, but I should do it carefully and provide good content, as people won't follow if there is no real value. I also need to protect the depth of the I Ching and explain this ancient treasure respectfully and clearly. Hexagram 18, Gu, says, this work may not be easy, as the old structure has been there for a really long time, either the misunderstanding on I Ching or the YouTube content structure. Nevertheless, renewal is still possible if I begin it carefully with preparation, boundaries, responsibility, and respect for the ancient wisdom of the I Ching. So this is my first example of using the I Ching divination in this channel. And from here, I want to slowly start a new series. In this series, I want to share real I Ching divination cases, including my own questions, hexagrams, and interpretations. And if you are interested, I also warmly encourage you to share your own divination examples and interpretation with me. I think this could be a very meaningful way for us to learn together. If you want to share your own cases, please leave your question, your original hexagram, your changing lines, the future hexagram, and your own interpretation to my email address. I think your own interpretation is very important because the hexagram first speaks to your own situation. For privacy, the cases should be anonymous. Nothing personal is required, only share what you truly want to share. But if you want, you can include a nickname you want me to call you and your general background or anything else you feel comfortable to share. If you are interested, but you don't yet know how to do an I Ching divination, this is completely fine. Don't worry, this YouTube channel is perfect for you. In the following videos, I will post some basic guides. First, in the next video, I will explain 3 popular ways to perform a hexagram. The basic ideas are quite similar. The first type of method is to form the 6 lines one by one from the bottom upward. This includes the 3-cone method and the traditional yarrow stalk method. In these methods, each line is formed individually, so several changing lines can appear in one divination. The second type is a simplified method. For example, the simplified yarrow stalk method or the 梅花易数 plum blossom numerology. The key idea is to get 3 random numbers. These numbers can come from many things: the date, the time, or even a car plate number or a flight ticket number, or basically anything that appears meaningfully in that divination moment. Then we divide the first 2 numbers by 8 and use the remainders to get the inner and outer trigram following the early heaven bagua numbering. Then we go to this table and find the original hexagram. After that, we divide the third number by 6, and the remainder gives us the changing line. After we identify the changing line, we reverse that line. So that means if that's a yang line, we change it into yin. If it's a yin line, we change it into a yang line. Then we go to this table again and find the future hexagram. In addition, I will also upload a series of videos explaining how to interpret each hexagram one by one. So even if you are completely new, you can still gradually get an idea of how to perform a hexagram and how to begin interpreting it. Finally, there are a few simple guidelines or rules I want to share with you for using the I Ching divination. The first rule is be sincere. If you don't believe in it, or you only want to test it as joke, don't divine. In the Bible, it is said, don't put the Lord your God to the test. Here I'm not saying the same, but I think the attitude is similar. When we consult the I Ching, we should come up with a sincere, respect, and real question so that we can find the sincere answer. I think what matters most is not the exact method we used for divination. It is our attitude at that divination moment. A true divination may become meaningful in 2 ways. First, you see your true self through the hexagram. You start to understand what your heart is already telling you, so your answer has been there waiting for you, and you now finally see it clearly through divination. Second, you may see your deep desire through the hexagram. Then you work hard, take action, and create the future you truly want. So in this sense, divination is not only about predicting the future, it is also about seeing yourself more clearly, understanding your own direction, and finding the courage to shape your future. The second rule is, if you already have an answer to your question, don't divine. Don't waste your time wandering around. Just go for it right now. The I Ching is most helpful when you are wondering, uncertain, or trying to understand the deeper pattern of a situation. Third, don't ask for harmful things. Don't use divination to manipulate others or ask about something with bad intentions. For me, the purpose of the I Ching is not to control life or control other people. It is to help us reflect more deeply on our own choices, future, and the changes happening around us. The I Ching offers us an image through which we will have a chance to enter deeper reflection that we have never seen before. Last, I don't run a divination business. This YouTube channel is not a place where I personally do divination for other people. The purpose of this series and this YouTube channel is learning, sharing, and discussion. I want to offer a space where people interested in the I Ching can bring examples, exchange interpretations, and slowly build a useful collection of real cases. So let's keep it simple. If you have a sincere question and you have already formed your hexagram, you can share the case, and together we can explore how the I Ching speaks through different people, different questions, and different moments. Thank you so much for watching. If you are interested in this new series, please subscribe, leave a comment, and continue exploring the I Ching with me. I will see you in the next video.